Hi guys, it's Fish Tank Galore, and today I'll be bringing you another video on community fish from the fish tanks. Today we'll be talking about the Plecostomus, or placo fish. This fish can get about as large as the tank that it inhabits, and it can live in just about any tank. I've seen them live in 2-gallon tanks up to 50, 100, 150-gallon tanks, and they can grow to about 2 feet long and sometimes bigger than that. Now the Plecostomus is not exactly a bottom feeder because you'll find them anywhere. As you can see, they like to hang from things. They like to hang upside down on the sides of things, on the gravel, on the plants. Find them on the wood, on the walls of the fish tank, and a lot of the times, at least for me, find them a lot of the times on the filter. Now, Plecostomus are actually fairly common, and the reason they're fairly common is because they're great fish to maintain the algae in your tank. If your tank's getting a ridiculous amount of green algae in it, it's just growing all over the walls and the rocks and the plants and everything, it's a great fish to maintain that a little bit for you so you don't have to do it yourself. Mine, at least, usually just hangs there or on the filter, like I said. They don't usually do much. Most of the time at night is when they roam around and stuff. One of the complaints, at least, about Plecostomus as far as the plants go, is a lot of the times what will happen is that when they get bigger, they still like to be on the bottom, and if there's not a lot of room for them to go through the plants, they tend to tear out the roots of the plants getting through. I used to have plants here, and I had to move it to over here because it kept going through here and tearing them out. Plecostomus are fairly hardy fish. They can survive just about any conditions. They like slightly colder water, and they like running water, but they usually like to live anywhere between 68 degrees to 78 degrees. So that's one good thing about them, is that you don't have to have a ridiculously great heater because they'll survive a long time. And for those of you who like to have fish that get bigger, these are great fish because, like I said, they can get just about as long as your arm if you wanted them to. It just takes a while. Another great thing about them is they're extremely docile. They don't really mess with anyone. The other thing is that nobody really messes with them because they just kind of sit there. But when fish do mess with them, what will happen is that they'll have their top fin will flare up. That's when you know that they're kind of upset, because they'll start to puff up with their big top fin. But most of the time, most of the fish leave them alone. They normally leave all the other fish alone too. They just kind of hang from different places. Now, one thing that you might be thinking is that, hey, my algae eater, or my Plecostomus, doesn't normally eat algae. What's wrong with him? Well, what's normally happening is when you feed your other fish pellets, or bloodworms or brine shrimp, what happens is a lot of the time is if the fish don't eat all the food, it'll go all the way down to the bottom and it'll sit there. And then guess who's on the bottom to eat your food is the frickin' Plecostomus. So he'll swim along and he'll eat your pellets and he'll eat all the leftover bloodworms and such. And then eventually, if he keeps doing that, he'll figure out, hey, I don't have to eat the algae anymore because this fool keeps feeding me. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to try and maintain the level of food that only the fish are going to be able to eat that won't sink to the bottom, and then your Plecostomus will get back to eating the algae out of your tank. But if you don't do that, he'll become extremely complacent with eating the leftovers of your other fish. As far as breeding them, I have never seen or heard of anybody at least trying to breeding them. Mostly because they're extremely common in rivers and stuff. So if you want one for free, you just go out to your local river or even little streams. You just look under rocks and stuff, and you'll find yourself a Plecostomus just hanging to a rock or to a tree. Other than that, unfortunately, a pretty boring fish, but need to cover it because it's an extremely important fish to maintain the cleanliness of your tank. So, this has been Fish Tanks Galore with another fish video. Please subscribe and leave comments, and I know I haven't posted one yet, but I will be having my saltwater and corals come out soon. I'm just waiting for my tank to get all settled out. Alright, thank you for watching. Goodbye.